Okay, our study session today, our law study session, learned that when you're going to sue someone, you are basically going to file a complaint in the court that has jurisdiction, and you are then going to send a summons to the party you're suing, and then with that summons you're going to support the complaint with an affidavit as well. And that's why affidavits are so important. Learning how to write affidavits is important and crucial. And what affidavits are is essentially just swearing under penalty of perjury that you're telling the truth, and you're affirming that you're telling the truth, and you're willing to go to jail for these facts that you're stating in a clear and concise way. And so learning how to write affidavits is something you really want to look into if you're going to do the private administrative process. And the private administrative process is creating a new contract where you're going to enforce it in court. And creating contracts and controlling contracts is really what we want to do in commerce, because everything is commerce now in contracts. So if you're not controlling the contract, someone's going to send you a contract and they're going to try to control it, and then you are the debtor because then you owe them a response. So it's all about who's the creditor and the debtor, and learning how to play their game, and learning how to write affidavits is huge. Another thing we learned was the 1933 bankruptcy really was a big game changer in our country. There was the Emergency Banking Relief Act and the Trading with the Enemy Act. I think it was an amendment to that. But it was when we declared bankruptcy, and we essentially switched from common law to what had been a republic, a constitutional republic, common law, and we switched to Admiralty Maritime at that point. And everyone was required to turn in their gold, and it was also when they declared war on 14th Amendment U.S. citizens. So, and then also the Social Security thing came in, where we are thinking that Social Security is some insurance for when we get old and die, but really it's or just get old, but it was really our sort of way of affirming that we are 14th Amendment U.S. citizens, enemies of the state, and we don't have rights, and we're not part of the we the people in the common law republic. We're basically accepting their contract offer that to be those 14th Amendment U.S. citizens under their jurisdiction as the debtors. We do not have a allodial title to our land anymore, and we essentially switched to a democracy from a constitutional republic. And it says in the Constitution that we shall always have a republican form of government. So that was all unconstitutional, and anything unconstitutional can be ignored, is null and void. The case law clearly states that anything unconstitutional, like switching to a democracy, which is socialism and communism, really social security. So a lot happened in the 30s, and it really got us to a point where we were handing away our rights, handing away our title, allodial title, which is the true title. But the birth certificate also became a big deal then as well, and that's a good thing to remember. And that the birth certificate QSIP number, that actually gives us the ability to the right to be beneficiaries. So it's just we don't know that we're beneficiaries. We just act like trustees, and the government assumes that they're the beneficiaries. No, we the people are the beneficiaries of that security instrument that was created with the birth certificate. And so it's just a matter of knowing who we are. It's just a matter of knowing that all this deception happened, and it was not for our benefit. It was to get us under their jurisdiction, to essentially to turn us into, to change our society from a republican form of government, of common law, and the we the people, and having rights through common law. It was just a way to switch us off that and into a democracy where it's mob rules, socialism, communism, so we're giving away everything that we have stood for, which is a republican form of government, republic, based on common law. And it's not so much that we want to focus on, we're a republic. It's just common law. We the people. law of the land. Now we went into Admiralty Maritime, and they did so with using the birth certificate and Social Security, and the Trading with the Enemy Act, emergency banking relief, and the bankruptcy of 1933, and getting all of our gold. I mean, that was just a heist. That was a heist. That was a heist of our rights. It was a heist of our property, and it was a heist of who we are as men and women on the land and under common law. So a lot happened back then in the 30s. It's a good idea to research that a little bit more, and you could see how that the enslavement started. But it can be resolved. It can be something that we can claim that we are the beneficiary. We are the beneficiary. We just have to know who we are and come into a greater understanding of who we are and the deception that's happened, and dig ourselves out. And you can't first solve a problem without identifying that one exists. That a lot happened in the 30s to switch our country around, and to switch our form of government around, and to take away our rights, and to further enslave us. And it can't be more apparent now. So we have to understand what's happened, and we can take steps to not take part in it and not empower them as having any control over us. So yeah, that's my rant for today that we learned in law. Hope that helps. Don't worry, we'll dig ourselves out. Just we have to get the knowledge and study.